Hey y'all, Chemology here, Exhibit 5, ready to discuss. I wondered if I was going to do 2 videos today because I let myself miss yesterday, and I quickly thought or felt like that was right or good and ready because the topic from Exhibit 4 was about doing things you don't want to do, and I think there needs to be more explanation there, and I think that's probably going to be the case initially as I start doing this because I have a lot of the foundation figured out for myself, but I haven't shared it in this media before, so trying to figure out how to do that. So when I say this, but you need to understand these 6 things to really have the context for whatever this theory or philosophy is that I'm trying to share, I really have to just build that out. So I'm gonna keep doing that. So for that, I think I really need to go into the topic of needs versus wants. This was something that I started to explore again 8 years ago. Before I turned 30, I started on this reckoning of my life and what do I believe in and what's life about and what's important and not having my values figured out and all this stuff. And as all that stuff started to grow and develop, one of those things was hearing lots of stuff in the personal development space or the business development space or all that stuff. There would be this topic or lots of things said about needs. You need this, you need that, and then whatever it was, it was probably only one day. It was probably like a buildup over time. It really got triggered or annoyed or activated around the way something was using the word need. And it took me down a path of really exploring that and dissecting that and what is a need? How do you differentiate between a need and a want? And in that exploration or considering that, I saw that oftentimes people would use the word need to justify something that they wanted. So I need more time, I need space, I need rest, I need, things like this. And I thought, and to really challenge this, then you go, well, there's the 6 human needs, and are those really needs? And what are the 6 human needs? And so I'm looking at these things, right? And well, I actually need air to breathe, right? I will die if I don't have air. So is that a need, a true need? And so right here, well, 6 human needs, that's from a Tony Robbins framework. And he says they are certainty, uncertainty, which is variety, significance, connection, and love, growth, and contribution. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, whatever needs, all this stuff about needs. I was trying to make a distinction between need and want, and need was feeling bad a lot of the time, especially when it's subjective. So I was really just trying to find something or work out something in my own logic about differentiating between needs and wants. And need often doesn't feel very good either. I need more sleep. Especially think about a conversation with a partner, I need you too, lots of stuff in there, or I need this. But if it's I need this and it's not water or it's not love, all these things, how do you really say what is a need is where I was at. And you got all this stuff around that says these are needs, and then never mind that people are using it casually or purposefully or intensely, whatever it is. So around that time or in that time, I was also very fascinated with desire and want. And we all have wants, and then there are other things that tell us it's bad to want, or desire is pain. And some of the Eastern philosophies talk a lot about desire and trying to rid desire, and then often reframing how you're talking about ridding desire. And so I worked in that space, and I thought, well, when do you have something that you need that you don't also want? Is there ever something you need that you don't also want? I may need water to survive. In what case would I ever not want water? I need air to breathe and survive? In what case would I ever not want air? And when you ask that, you can go, some extreme examples come to mind. Like if you want to kill yourself, you may think, well, that would be an instance where you don't want air, but someone is, a medical thing is forcing air for you, or you may not want to eat to sustain yourself, but someone is making you, or things like that. So I got to a place that I decided I was gonna play with that. I was gonna see how that held up in life. Like, when is there a want, a need that is also not a want? And that mostly has held up for me. And I also noticed that it feels better when I say that. Like, I don't need to do this today. I want to do this today. I need to take the dog out. I want to take the dog out. I need to make dinner. I ultimately want to make dinner. I need to go to the store. I want to go to the store. If you just play with the word replacement and see how it feels, even if you don't, you're like, I actually don't want to go to the store. I want to fucking stay home and whatever you want to do. But there's part of you that probably does want to go to the store. The part that's like, we'll be prepared, we'll have things, it'll feel better, I'll have what I need at the house. So there's probably a part of you that wants it, even when you feel like you don't. But if you tap into the part that wants it, it changes how it feels. So that is sort of the foundation for my whole do what you want stuff. Because when you start to challenge that, when the short version of that I just posted was, what if we just stop doing things that we don't want to do? And the initial or popular challenge to that is, how can anyone thrive or be successful and not do things that they don't want to do? Like, everyone has to do stuff we don't want to do. But that's actually what I'm challenging, is if it doesn't feel good, or you have to talk about it that way, like, well, if I want to be a millionaire, I have to and need to do these things. If you want to be a millionaire, don't you also want to do the things that would get you there? And if you pull that down into a micro space, and you're like, someone used an example of fitness with me initially right away on this topic, and to share that, it was, so a person wants to be fit, but they also may on a day not want to push themselves. And then the way that works, and what I'm presenting as a framework or possible theory or philosophy is, yeah, I do want, this is real. I want to be a healthy, fit human. There are also days when I don't feel like going for a hike. I don't feel like eating the right things. I feel like having a glass of wine. And I think that those things are not necessarily contributing to the ultimate desire of, I want to be the epitome of my ideal of health. So in any moment though, it's, I want, in my broader life, it's like a bigger want. I want to be fit and healthy human. Today, I don't want to go hike. This is not real, but I would happily go hike today, and I may still, but I don't want to go hike today. I want to eat a donut, whatever it is. But in that moment, I would argue for playing out this framework that you want whatever it is about the donut more than you want the health. And that's the nature of our desires in every day, all of our lives. Like, I think we're ultimately always figuring out, what do we ultimately want? And our hierarchy of wants is somewhat fluid, but there probably are ones that stay closer to the top, but they do shift, like this day I may want rest more than I want my ideal body or my ideal mind. And so I sleep instead of study, or but it's ultimately always, I think it's always about figuring out what you want, but using want versus need. I want to be fit. I need to be fit. I need to be healthy so I can be around for my family. But don't you also want it? So just try on the word swap and see how it feels, and see like what comes up that you feel like you have to use the word need for. And what does it do for you? Because maybe you're having a whole different experience with the word, but for me it was there weren't positive and empowering associations to use the word need and what those feelings the feelings that came with it for me. So I took the time to let energy to notice and look into that stuff to figure out, okay, well, what does it mean and what does work for me? Because it made me that need is very motivating for you. But for me, I had a number of reasons that are experiences or observations that made me feel like I didn't like it. And I think one of those things was that I saw around me people using it as a justification or their good reason for ultimately wanting some things but putting other things on a back burner, when I don't necessarily think that your wants should be put behind your needs. What if they're all just wants? So that was the idea to explore. And when it comes to only doing what you want, it's using the hierarchy of your wants all the time. Seeing what you want in any given moment. I mean, there are plenty of things that it's not like the whole idea of needs and wants isn't extricated from me. I still feel that, whether it's because I live in a world where that is the dominant thought process, or it's that I have been brought up in a society where that's like all around me, or whatever it is that it's in me. It is in me, but I work to see and explore how it might be different if I use it differently. And for me, it's been great. But it does mean every day, like, do I really want to do this? And there are things that I don't want to do. And when that comes up, there's usually a want to in there. And if I tap into it, it changes it. It's no longer like, I need to, even if it's a difference in my partnership where my partner wants something that I don't really want to do, but ultimately I really want my partner to be happy, and I want to give the things that make him happy. I want to be a source of that, whatever, joy, pleasure, whatever it is. So even if I'm not in the mood, a lot of times there is a part of me that wants to participate in whatever that is, and you can get yourself there, whatever there is. And I think when we want to do it, there is better energy, more positive energy. Like, how does it feel when you say, I want to do this, versus I have to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this? Could be an empowering thing. I'm not saying it can't be. And I'm saying that for me, wasn't having that feeling, and this system worked for me. So now this is part of what contributes to my philosophy and framework of stop doing shit you don't want to do and have everything be a want and scrap needs. Like, show me a need that isn't also a want was what I looked for a while. And so far, I ain't got that. So like this topic, or have some strong feelings about it, whether they're agreeing or disagreeing, leave a comment, ask a question. I love questions. And again, this is messy for me. I'm just trying to get my thoughts out, and usually I'm a writer. So the fact that I am speaking my thoughts and in front of a camera, all of these are dynamics that are new for me, and just want to emphasize that I'm not going for perfect. I'm actually going for imperfect to build something for myself. So thanks for being here if you got here, and ciao for now.